Hello, my name is Ganesh Usha. I secured All India rank 39 in Indian Forest Service Examination 2018. I am here to share some lessons I've learned from my journey, my strategy for the 3 phases of this exam, and give you some details regarding what this exam is all about. First, I will say a little about the Indian Forest Service exam. The Indian Forest Service is one of the 3 All India service, the other 2 being the Indian Administrative Service and the Indian Police Service. The recruitment to Indian Forest Service is done by the Union Public Service Commission through an exam where it shares a common preliminary exam with the Civil Service exam and the Indian Forest Service exam. Due to limited number of vacancies, the cutoff for Indian Forest Service in preliminary remains a little high, nearly 10 to 15 marks more than the Civil Service preliminary cutoff. After this, the mains is a little different from the Civil Service mains, in the sense that in Forest Service mains we have to prepare 2 optionals, whereas in Civil Service mains it is 1 optional. In Forest Service mains we can't take art subject as an optional, but in Civil Service mains we can take art subject as an optional. So these are some differences that exist between the mains. And another difference I can think of is that there are 4 general papers in Civil Service mains, whereas there is only 1 general paper in Forest Service mains. Also, English is a qualifying paper, a compulsory paper, but still a qualifying paper in Civil Service mains, whereas English is therefore 300 marks in Forest Service mains. So these are some differences that exist between Civil Service mains and Forest Service mains. Now a brief introduction about myself. I graduated from NIT Calicut in 2014. My civil service journey began in 2014, immediately after my graduation. It's my 4th attempt in civil service examination, in which I wrote 3 mains and I've had 2 interview calls. But with respect to Forest Service examination, it is my 3rd attempt. But though I cleared all 3 attempts with Indian Forest Service cutoff in preliminary exam, I didn't write 2 mains. This is the first mains I wrote, and by God's grace I could get selected also. And I think this is exactly where I should start what I am about to speak to you. Because 2 attempts, despite clearing preliminary cutoff, I didn't write Forest Service mains because I was not confident enough that I could do it. My Civil Service mains optional was Malayalam literature, and here I had to take technical subjects like geology, forestry, chemistry, maths. So I was not confident that I will be able to do it, manage 3 optionals simultaneously. But as fate would have it, AR 54 in 2017, my dear friend and brother Prajesh Kanta Jana, IFoS, he cleared the exam with geology and forestry, and that instilled in me the confidence that I too can do it. With constant support of my parents, friends and family, and with God's grace, I could clear it. So that is the first myth I want to bust here. That is, it is not difficult to prepare 3 optionals, even if it is different for civils and forests, simultaneously, if you are ready to put in some quality hard work. That is the first myth. Don't think that it is beyond your capability to prepare 3 optionals, 1 for civils, 2 for forestry. With dedicated planning and with a concerted effort and dedication, everyone can do it. So that is the first myth I would like to break. Now carrying on, I would organize this talk into 3 phases: the prelims, the mains and the interview. To start with prelims, to give a brief introduction, prelims, like I said, has a bigger cutoff than civil service preliminary. So it is important to invest quality time for prelims preparation, about which I will be speaking in a different video. With respect to mains, the written marks is for the written papers are for 1400 marks, and it includes a GK paper, an English paper, 2 paper of first optional and 2 paper of second optional. My optionals in Forest Service mains were geology and forestry. Geology and forestry, the only exposure I had to these subjects is that I had a module for geology during my civil engineering classes in NIT Calicut, but other than that I have not been exposed to the subject of geology. But with the help of friends and family, and of course with some hard work, I could manage to finish this within the gap between civil service mains and forest service mains. So I would suggest as a strategy, for the general paper, you prepare well for civil service mains, because that GS learnings will be of immense help to you in forest service mains also. For English paper, your essay part will be taken care of in your civil service preparation. Other sections like letter writing, you can have a glance at the formats available in internet and well as books such as Eschanth. With respect to geology and forestry, there are dedicated books and notebooks of toppers which can help us secure good marks. In geology, books such as K.M. Bangar are immensely helpful. In forestry, books such as Manikandan and Prabhu are helpful. Other than that, toppers like Prajesh Kanta Jena has released his notes of geology, and Mr. Rishabh Gupta, IFoS, has also released his notebook of forestry, which is of immense help in the preparation process. So if you put in like 10 to 12 hours in a planned way during your preparation phase after civils mains to forest mains, I think anyone can cover comfortably these subjects and attempt the mains well. Regarding interview is not a test of your knowledge. It is called personality test in the Union Public Service Commission. I think for interview, what helped me immensely was a group preparation. We had a group of 4 to 5 people, and among which 3 of us qualified, including AR2, AR16 and myself AR39. So the group study were of immense help because many questions repeated. The kind of temperament it gave helped me in actual UPSC interview. So I think these are some pointers you can use. So now I will give you a little insight into what I did specifically for each papers of the mains in Indian Forest Service. Starting with the general knowledge paper, I think during our civil service preparation, enough content will be built with all amongst us for all answers, which are all questions which are being asked in the GK paper. So I didn't do anything specific for the GK paper since the days were also limited. But I did exhaustive work for general studies during my civil service preparation, which I believe helped in the Indian Forest Service exam. One specific aspect I can point out is the fact that I gave a lot of emphasis on presentation this time. Thanks to my mentor Asif sir, I was able to innovate ways of presenting the same content in different formats, using diagrams, using tables, using flow charts, which I believe would have differentiated a little my GS papers a little and would have helped me clear this exam in this attempt. Other than that, what you have to do is develop good writing speed so as to complete 300 marks worth of paper in the dedicated 3 hours. For that, you can join a general studies test series. You can also have daily answer writing practice, which would help bring speed, precision and accuracy. Coming to the English paper, like I said, essay part is taken care of in your essay preparation for civil service. What you can do for essay is take up some coaching institute's paper, solve the essay and get corrected by a mentor. You can also try adding catchy introductions, catchy conclusions, data, statistics into the essay so that your essay stands out a little. Coming to other aspects of grammar, there are many resources available in YouTube and the website. I didn't refer to a single book for grammar. Many resources available in YouTube which would teach you all fundamentals of grammar. One essential aspect I believe can help us is solving all previous year English question papers. I think that's the primary thing you have to do, because if we keep on reading without having the demand of the exam, I think it can be a little cumbersome for us to pass this exam. So in order to score good in English, I think first you solve all previous year question papers of English. That can be of immense help. Then reorient your preparation in a way that the knowledge you gained after previous year question, you fill the gaps using resources available in websites or general standard grammar books like Wren and Martin. This would be of immense help. Other than that, for letter writing and pressy writing, you can practice few previous year questions, get corrected by one of your mentors, and that will be of immense help. This will help you in English language paper. Now I will delve a little deep into the geology optional, because even during my preparation I felt that not enough guidance was available, but thankfully one officer had described it on Delhi Knowledge Track itself. Then there was Prajesh Kanta Jena, my senior. Then there was Akhil Thambi, another officer. These officers guided me how to prepare, and now I am thinking I will take all parts of syllabus and give an insight into how you can handle this, each part of syllabus. The first part of syllabus is General Geology, which is easily available in K.M. Bangar, Principles of Engineering Geology book. I think that is a must buy. It is easily available in the basic books. Also, the advantage of paper 1 of geology is that it has considerable overlap with the geography we study in general studies. So I think if you concentrate a little well on geography during your prelims and mains preparation, you can sail through geology paper 1 quite comfortably. The general geology part is very well related to general geography you study in GS, which can be covered from standard textbooks you use in geography or from KM Bangar. It is comfortably given. Geomorphology and remote sensing, it has 2 parts. The geomorphology and remote sensing, geomorphology is again available in basic geology textbooks. It is also available in internet and your GS geography books. But with respect to remote sensing, I think enough content is available online where you can take each words of the syllabus, find appropriate content, make content worth like 1 or 2 sheets of content for each topic, then be done with that. I think that is a good way to do the same. With respect to structural geology, now this is a little bit tricky part as it can be a challenge to remember it and also conceptually apply it. But questions do come from the part. It has been covered well in toppers notes such as of Prajesh sir. It has also been covered well in KM Bangar books. So I think a strategy where you read one book and refer the other for clarity would help. With respect to paleontology, for me it was a little challenging to memorize, but thankfully Prajesh sir in his notes, AR54 in his notes has covered it pretty decently. So I did that, that's the only thing I did for paleontology, and I think that paid dividends, thanks to God. And with respect to Indian stratigraphy, this was a major challenge for me. This requires you to memorize so many things. So here the strategy was, I compiled all the previous year questions from say 2010 or 2009 to 2018. I compiled them, I categorized them and filed them. So whenever I used to study paleontology, I would check which all questions I've asked and I would study them first. This would ensure that I would not miss a repeating question, which I believe helped in this exam. So what I would suggest is, though it may be available, this whole process of you yourself going through questions and compiling them, segregating them as per syllabus, is a process which can reorient our thought process very much according to the syllabus. So I think this is one strategy you can adopt. And here I would like to recommend a smart study approach, because if you analyze the previous papers, it is very much visible that there are certain areas which are asked repeatedly and there are certain areas where we can predict the questions which will come. Certain questions are very important and are repeated. So a smart study approach would be to focus immensely in that areas, and the other areas you cover in a way comfortably enough so that you are able to sail through that questions if it is asked in compulsory. The optional questions you can choose as per your area of comfort if you do the important areas pretty thoroughly. Now with respect to hydrogeology and engineering geology, to be honest, I very much enjoyed learning this part because it has immense connection with my civil engineering background, which I was trained. This is very well available in all engineering geology textbooks. Whatever that is not available, it is available in either Prajesh sir's notebook or the internet, which you can cover very comfortably. Now coming to paper 2. Paper 2 is more of applied geology. The first one, I believe, because it has aspects related to mining, environmental geology, etc. Mineralogy is a very core chapter of geology. It is a little difficult to memorize, but once memorized, it yields huge dividends. I found KM Bangar very useful and very specific to deal with the same. You can also use this approach. Igneous and metamorphic petrology again is something which is repeatedly asked, very important but not easily available in one source. A strategy I would recommend, as recommended to me by Akhil IFS and Prajesh IFS, was to cover the bare minimum given in Bangar, which helped me in my preparation. So I think that would be a good way to go. The same applies for sedimentary petrology also. With respect to economic geology, again the notes of Prajesh sir, the notes of one other topper, Vijayanandam sir, is also available online, which would help us cover this topic in a pretty decent manner, and I think that would suffice for the exam. And the mining geology and geochemistry and environmental geology, the mining geology, aspects are again available in Vijayanandam sir notes and Prajesh sir notes. I think that they would help us cover it pretty decently. Again, environmental geology is an area you can make your strength because it is very much connected with general studies. For that, I would recommend whatever current affairs environment you have been doing for mains, plus some static part from Prajesh sir's notes and KM Vanga would be of immense help. Having gone through the syllabus, I believe our approach should not be to delve into too much depth for any part, since we will be having limited time after civil service mains to attempt Indian Forest Service mains. I think the approach should be do a basic note, cover within a stipulated time and revise as much as you can, because I believe whatever we internalize comes out in a paper which we studied for a limited number of days, and when we are in that exam stress situation, the best results comes when we internalize the concepts. So I remember making notes, my own notes, which were of one sheet notes for all topics, compiling them, which I repeatedly revised before the exam, so that whatever areas I did comfortably. Also, with my friends, just before the exam, I quickly scanned through the notes so that key concepts like one topic ACF, AKF diagram, those key concepts remain stick to my mind. Those concepts which I have a tendency to forget remain stick to my mind, and quite surprisingly they were asked and I was able to reproduce. Also, please don't try to mug up geology. Geology is a beautiful subject. Once you get a hold of it, you will understand that it is a wonderful subject. And so try to conceptually understand, because I believe in paper 2 a numerical was asked with respect to calculation of ore reserves, and since I enjoyed learning the mining geology, I found that the chapter on ore reserves, the numerical I could attempt very comfortably, and I believe that could have added to my helped in my selection. That is one aspect. So repeated revision of the same, that is one key. The second key, as recommended by both Prajesh sir and Akhil sir, was that which I implemented too, was to exhaustively use diagrams in geology. I made a separate book for compiling diagrams for each syllabus in geology. I revised it the day before. I tried practicing also the day before, so that it comes out naturally while writing. Also, I adopted a little, I went back to my school days, and since I didn't know the answer to 2 questions, I had a little extra time. In that meantime, I bought some color pencil and colored all my diagrams so that the presentation aspect becomes a little better. It was a feel-good factor. Whenever coming out of the exam hall, I felt a little satisfied that I have done something and my paper was different and appealing. So if you practice your timing very well, I think it is a strategy you can adopt. But let me say it with a piece of advice or caution, that never at the cost of your time. Never skip a question to color a question. Practice well so that you can manage time and coloring, which may help you in presentation. And with respect to coaching for geology, I took a coaching in Shankar IAS Chennai, of which I could not attend all classes due to paucity of time. But here I am reminded of one faculty from Madras University, Dr. Rao sir, who was not just a teacher but a friend to a newbie like me, who was always available in telephone for doubt clarification. I also received help from my friends like Ranjana, who is an Indian Ordnance Factory Service, and also Chils Thomas Koshi, and also one friend Sharanya from university. So I believe a support group who are interested in the subject, who can prepare notes for you for the subject, and especially and emotional support from your parents can help you plan this 50 days and execute them better. So I would recommend, if possible, find a mentor who can help you in geology with doubt clarification, which will be of immense help in the process. With respect to Forestry Optional, the advantage of Forestry Optional is that it is immensely enjoyable, especially given that those who are writing Forest Service are coming from either agriculture, forestry, zoology, that background, or the engineering background. There is enough fodder in forestry to be enjoyable to everyone. In forestry, there is a Bible. It is called Manigattan and Prabhu, which covers almost all aspects of the syllabus. It's a one-time book. The strategy is clear. You take that book, read the book, and repeatedly revise it. That's it. In addition, The problem with forestry, the challenge with respect to forestry can come from the fact that it is a little bit difficult to memorize, because there are certain aspects like scientific names of species or silviculture systems which we need clarity and we need to memorize. For that, I would recommend you go through Rishabh Gupta sir's note, where each concept he has given in the form of a mind map very beautifully, and it is a very small book, so you can revise it multiple times before your interview, and that gives you immense clarity during the examination process. I still remember when specific questions were asked from forest mensuration, I still remember that my mind linked to the mind map I saw rather than the content I read. So that is one way. Second thing, forestry is a subject where group discussions are extremely beneficial. I had a group where I had a friend, Subin, with whom I had exhaustive discussions, and these discussions helped me immensely in my forest service preparation, as it adds clarity to what I learned. It helps reinforce the concept. So a small group where you can discuss forestry concepts is also appreciable. Third, diagrams as applied to geology is also applicable for forestry. And fourth, I would think, like, forestry, the paper is divided in such a way that paper 1 is a little technical and paper 2 is a little bit general. I would recommend you invest your time and master paper 1, because I believe writing paper 1 numerically, or even technical sections in paper 2 like forest mensuration, forest management, fetches better dividend than writing general answers. Also, if possible, connect to real life situations, real life examples, say from Gir Forest or Periyar Tiger Reserve. Bring in examples, bring in diagrams. If you have time, color your diagrams, and enjoy the process. Forestry is a beautiful subject, and the best thing about forestry is that it complements what you are learning, the other optional. As in, if you are studying geology, you can balance your time between forestry and geology. Revise well, multiple revisions. Forestry, I believe the key is multiple revisions. Revise the subject again and again and again until you have internalized the subject. Also, adopt a smart study approach. See which areas are being repeatedly asked. Manikandan and Prabhu itself have compiled all previous year questions behind each chapter. See important areas. Some chapters like forest ecology, study the previous year questions first, because that is exactly what is being repeated. Have conceptual clarity, internalize the subject, which I believe can help you sail through the exam quite comfortably. I would also recommend that you have, I took a coaching class for forestry too from Shankar IAS, which was immensely helpful in my preparation, because to this day I have extreme clarity about silviculture systems, a chapter which I very much attribute to Karthikeyan sir, who taught me at Shankar for forestry. Also, it was of immense help in tackling forest related questions in interview. Coaching is not essential, but if it is depend upon the individual. For 50 days I thought coaching would help me tackle it better, so I took the guidance from Shankar IAS Institute. But it depends on individual to individual. I know many friends who have did it by own. It depends on individual. What type of study, how well do you study? Do you study well with mock tests? Do you study ready when you have a mentor, a guide? So these aspects keep varying. So that is with respect to forestry optional. With respect to interview, our marks are yet to be out. But I think on the broad contours, the interview is a little more scientific. It is a little more technical. So strengthen your technical areas. Have a good group for interview preparation. That will again reinforce the concepts within you, and be very calm, be very honest in your DAF. Your DAF is the center point of your interview. Be very honest, be very calm, and be they are there to evaluate your personality, not your knowledge. So have that mindset, and I'm sure you will do well. So dear friends, if one lesson I myself take and I want to share with you from my journey in the Indian Forest Service, it is that perseverance pays. That is one virtue we all should have while preparing for UPSC, to persevere until we reach our dreams, until we reach our destination. And in this process, there will be ups and downs, there will be highs and lows, there will be all sorts of problems. But with support of your family, with utmost dedication, and with clear intention of what your purpose is, if you are purpose driven, I think everyone can achieve this. I wish you all the very best. Every aspirant, I wish all the very best in their endeavors. God bless you all. Thank you.